Excuse me. Giving all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahshua Bashim Rakakodash Shalom to the hopeful elect out there. And I'm going to entitle this video, The Next Big Prophecy is Just Around the Corner. I should say at the door. It was around the corner a couple of years ago. But right now it's at the door. So let me rephrase that. The next big major prophecy is at the door. And you should know what I'm talking about if you've been keeping up with us. That's the MOTB, as we refer to it, the acronym for you know what. But anyway, this is what I did. I'm sorry. Before I go on, I want to say most Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakodash, Rakah, Rapah, the brother in the IUIC that got shot 2 times. It's all over YouTube. I hope the brother's all right. Hope he gets well. Because at the end of the day, we go back and forth with doctrine, but he's still an Israelite. So I just wanted to say that. But, life goes on and we do this work. And like I said, that's really a test for him to see whether he stays with this thing or not. But we don't know if he's a strong man in the faith, and more importantly, if he's one of the elect, he'll deal with it and move on. The Most High will heal him. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Kakodash will heal him. Anyway, on to this, the topic, the video. So I typed in Revelation 13 and 16, and what I did was I went to the NLT. Because the translation a little bit different. So I went to the NLT, and it says, well, when you click on it, it's charagma. Let me see something. So this is from the NLT. He required everyone, and he represents the system. It's not just one guy. It's not the Wizard of Oz or King Kamehameha. It's not one guy sitting on the Antichrist. Who's the guy that's the Antichrist? No, there's no such thing as one Antichrist. There are many Antichrists. He required everyone, and everyone is talking about man, woman, child on the planet, because this is a planetary thing. You see on the news all these nations adopting the CBDC technology. I did a video that another brother, I believe they were Friends of the Prophets, did, and I kind of lamby backed off of his video. And that was Morocco, the flag in the background, and the woman was talking about the CBDC. I said that was Morocco. That I immediately identified the flag as the flag of Morocco. And I also showed you in the video that they're a part of the UN. So the UN works with the beast system, but the UN is not the beast system. The beast system is NATO, the EU, which consists of these major European nations, Germany, France, Italy, Great Britain, and so forth. Great Britain just pulled out of the EU, but they did not pull out of NATO. So it's part of the same beast. It's like one part of the beast, one not being a part of like the horns. We don't want to be a horn no more. I want to be one of the heads, So the heads of the beast, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, it says, he required the beast system, meaning men and women that's pushing this system. And you really got to go to the 15th verse. Matter of fact, let me do that. I sound like a broken record, but that's all right because it's coming. So when it comes, you can't say, well, I wish GMS would do more videos on the MOTB so I could know what to do. Well, that's all we do is videos. Not ad nauseum. Look that up. That's a legalese term. We do it until you're nauseated by it. You know what? Let me do this. Let me do this right here. The B side to C. Let's see. Let's start from the first verse. Let's see what it sounds like. If it's spicy, we'll deal with it. If not, we'll jump back down to like the 15th verse, so forth. I said, then I saw a beast rise up out of the sea. It had 7 heads and 10 horns and crowns, blah, 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 blah. The beast looked like a leopard, but it had the feet of a bear. We know that's Russia, which is not a part of NATO or the EU. And the mouth of a lion represents Great Britain. And the dragon gave the beast his own power and throne and great authority. So now you might say, well, what's the difference between the dragon and the beast? The beast and the dragon are interchangeable. When you go back to the 2,000 years ago, the Roman Empire, and in scriptures, Revelation, John on Isle of Patmos, he referred to them sometimes as the dragon, and he referred to them sometimes as the beast. So it's interchangeable. Revelation chapter 12, it says dragon, but it is talking about the beast. Matter of fact, let me prove that real quick for you proselytes out there. Revelation 12, just to show you. Right, the red dragon. It's called the dragon right here. In other parts of the scriptures, it's called the beast. And we know this is the Roman Empire. So the current dragon today is the power elite behind the scenes, which work with the beast. You got the Vatican City, you got which works with the beast, which is not a part of the beast, and it's not Babylon. You got the economic city-state, which is London, England. So that would be the dragon. And then you got the UN. I mean, I'm not the UN. The DC. DC deals with military matters. That's the world military. That's the world military. That's why they are the unofficial head of NATO. They're not the official head of NATO. They're supposed to be co-equal to each other, but really the unofficial head of the NATO nations is the U.S. out of D.C. Everything comes out of D.C. Where you have Langley, Virginia, you have the Pentagon, and the president is chief executive officer. Executives execute. You know, if there's a war, the Congress votes on a war, and the president executes the war. So he's like the head general. That's why according to history, there was presidents before George Washington, but George Washington was a general in the military. And because for his greatness, they said, okay, we're going to make you the head general, but we're going to call you the first. So really, a president is just the top general. That he doesn't even have the title of general. He's called commander in chief. What does it mean? What is that? That's military terminology. He leads the army after the Congress gets together and vote on whether we're gonna have a war or not. So then he jumps in. The president is nothing but Congress's mean ass pit bull. You know, all they do is they present bills that become laws, and then the Supreme Court, which is you got the Article 1, I believe that's Article 3 of the Constitution. Article 2 is the executive. If you go into the Constitution, what they do is if there's a dispute concerning a law that Congress made, they go to the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court, all they do is interpret laws. That's all they do. They just interpret laws that Congress made, federal laws. And that also goes into state laws, because you can go as far as the Supreme Court on a state matter. Or that standard that happened with Miranda, the Miranda law. Miranda was Miranda versus Arizona. It went from Miranda versus Arizona to, I believe, Miranda versus U.S., which is a state law that went up to the federal level, and the federal level in the Supreme Court, they ruled on it, saying yes, he has the right. He has the Fifth Amendment right. It's also called. That's why they said we're going to Mirandize you. That's case law right there. And Mirandize is nothing but the Fourth Amendment. You don't got to say nothing. You don't got to show your papers unless they have a warrant. They can't come into your house unless they have a warrant from a judge. Anyway, that was a little law lesson right there. Federal law. So like I said, the dragon, Daniel saw that same dragon, but he called it a beast. So that represents what? Three unclean spirit like frog come out of the mouth of the dragon, come out of the mouth of the beast, and come out of the mouth of the false prophet, which is the Vatican and the daughter churches. I've been through this before. So it says, so like I said, Russia has never been a part of the beast system. They always been enemies to the beast system. Now they trade. You can trade with the enemy. You know, hey, China, we're in a Cold War, or the U.S. is in a Cold War with China. But guess what? The U.S. still gets product from China. So that's called a Cold War. If it becomes a hot war, which they shooting, missiles at one another, or, ground warfare, then guess what? China's going to say, look, you don't get no more of our shit. That's an embargo. That's an embargo right there. And if the Chinese call for an embargo, America's dead. America's dead. Close the coffin on that bitch. She's dead. So anyway, I saw that one of the heads of the beast seemed wounded beyond recovery. That's the Roman Empire, because this is Rome all over again. And then you got, and I strongly believe, and I hope that Donald Trump becomes president. And if he does, I would say he's definitely what's this guy? Nero. He's definitely Nero coming back. So we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. We know Barack Obama. Well, Barack, we love him so much, we'll make him know. We don't. Nobody sees Biden becoming the president, and no Democratic so-called candidate is going to be able to deal, become a nominee. Most likely, Biden will become the nominee all over again. And if you put this guy back in office, Democrats, but then again, you got Trump, so it's more of a protest against Trump. But we'll see. We'll see. The head nominee, future nominee, will have to be Trump, not DeSantis. It would have to be Trump, because he has a great following. He's what you call a cult of personality. So I won't be surprised if he becomes the president for another 4 years. And if he does become president for another 4 years, that's when they're going to really push this thing. This whole CBDC is not going to stop because it was presented by the current President Biden. So is Trump going to say, well, we're going to push, we're not into that CBDC. No, they have an agenda. They're given a script for you dummies out there to think this guy's gonna make a change. No, he's gonna do whatever his uh, hidden masters tell him to do. Whatever script they give him. They said, we're gonna make you president again, but this time don't fuck up, don't tear up the script, because we're gonna put something, we're gonna do something to you. Put the fear of the Lord in them. Anyway, let me go ahead and read. It says, I saw that one of the heads of the beast seemed wounded beyond recovery, meaning to death. It looked like it died, and it did die, but it came back, and nobody knows how, in what form did it come back. And it came back as a U.S. Really, they had the beast in the EU, but the fatal wound was healed because of bringing together the EU. Look it up. What brought together the EU? The Club of Rome. The whole world marveled at this miracle and gave allegiance to the beast. And how are they going to ultimately do it? By taking the mark. Now let me jump down. I'll start delivering the beast out of the earth. Then I saw another beast come up out of the earth. He had two horns like those of a lamb, but he spake with the voice of a dragon. You got a little bit of that with the whole ragamuffin thing. So when they do it this time, they're going to really lock people down. They're going to really do some shit, man. Like the sister said in the video a couple of us put up, that they're gonna, there's gonna be a major power cut off, a blackout nationwide or semi-nationwide, and there's gonna be a major lockdown. And when people come out, the whole world, everything's gonna be changed up. That's a scenario. I don't know how that's gonna happen, but ultimately, when everything's said and done, when you go into these stores, you're gonna have to go through a gate, electronic gate. You're gonna have to use your QR code to get in, and then when you buy stuff, now once you're in there, they don't have to put up those security doors, but they will, in my opinion. But anytime you go in there, the QR code on your smartphone says, "Okay, Mr. Smith is in here right now," and then when you pick up milk, pick up this, that, eggs, whatever, it's all deducted from your account, and I said this before. So when you leave, the gate will open. If the gate wasn't there, you went out. They already took it from your account. So that's why you notice on your news, and a lot of these shorts, you see a lot of these Jake kids, they're going into different stores and they're ransacking the stores. They're letting that happen. They're making that happen. They're focusing on that, so that they can have excuse to say, we got to change the system where when you go and buy and sell, you got to, and then, with the QR code on the smartphone, they'll say, well, look, you stole Mr. Johnson's phone and you're using it, whatever the case may be. So now you got to have it in your body. So you can't steal a guy's, body part, with the chip. It's coming, man. Like we've been saying, man. Like we've been saying with the thing that Great Millstone been saying for the longest, is that this thing is coming, man, and it's coming fast. It's right it's not around the corner. It's right at the door. They're doing it right now. 114 countries out of 198 countries, UN countries, because all these countries, the only two countries that are not a part of UN is Palestine and the Vatican City, which is considered a country. Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, all UN countries. So all that bullshit about the terrorists is bullshit, because all those terrorist countries get to come to New York and stay in hotels and nobody touches them. So come on now. 12 verse. He exercised all the authority of the first beast, which is the Roman Empire, and he required all the earth and its people to worship the first beast, which means what? It's not a picture of Caesar Borgia. the worship the first beast is talking about the who's now in the King James it says the image, worship the image, I believe. Matter of fact, let me prove that. Let me prove that. Revelation 13 and 12. I believe the word is image. This is for you Padawans out there, you newcomers, you proselytes. It says, and he exercised all the power of the first beast, Roman Empire, before him, and causes the earth and them which dwell upon the earth to worship, right, to worship the what? The first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. So let me come back to the NLT. He did astounding miracles, which is their technology, even making fire flash down to earth from the sky while everyone is watching. That's the missile technology. And with all the miracles or technologies he has allowed to perform on behalf of the first beast, because this system is based upon the Roman system. That's why when you go to DC, it looks like a scene out of ancient Rome, man. Which, by the way, it looks like the architecture looks like this place, Petra, which is Mount Seir. These people are Edomites. The ancient Romans 2,000 years ago are descendants from Edom, the Edomites. He deceiveth all the people who belong to this world. And I believe that's oikomene. He ordered the people to make a great statue, now in the King James says image, of the first beast, who was fatally wounded and then came back to life. So, General Nathaniah, he says that the image, which here says statue, is talking about a picture of Caesar, but it's not talking about a picture of Caesar Borgia. Not talking about a picture of Caesar Borgia. It's talking about the Roman Empire. Because Caesar Borgia was never wounded to death and came back to life. He was then permitted to give life to this, now it says in the King James, image, so that it could speak. What does it say in what is that? Habakkuk 2:18, and a teacher of lies. Give the graven image and a teacher of lies. Your politicians speak. Your religious leaders speak. And they're going to all work together. Then the statue or the image in the KJV of the beast commanded that everyone refusing to worship it must die. They go to war with it, ultimately. He required everyone, and if you don't take the charagma, some of us are going to be put to death. Revelation 20, verse 4. Like I said, I'm singing to the choir. We've been saying this for the longest. We sound like broken records. We've been saying this to ad nauseum. But this is for the Padawans out there. This is for the babies out there. This is for the people that came in for maybe the last 5 years, the last 2 years, the last 6 months, and they want to learn. We're here to teach you. You will play by the numbers. I will teach you. Inside joke. If you know what I'm talking about, you're good. So we're the teachers, and our job is to teach, not march around, not have cookouts, not do this. Not saying that it's a sin. You have a cookout is not a sin. Marching around is not a sin. But what is Great Millstone known for? Just teaching. That's it. Just going through the scriptures, taking certain articles and breaking news and filtering through the scriptures. That's why we're so adamant about the charagma thing, the MOTB, because it's going to come to pass. Okay? And it could come to pass within months. He required everyone, meaning the whole world, oikomene, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to be a slave, meaning you in the prison system. A lot of these prisoners are going to take it because they're going to get there. They say, look, if you take the chip, you got 5 years, and we're gonna cut it down to 6 months, and we're gonna let you out of here. Matter of fact, we're gonna cut it down to 3 months. What do you think they're gonna say? Oh, hell yeah, I'll take the chip. Where do I sign up? So they're gonna get a lot of these jakes in the prison system to take it because they're gonna give them that offer. That's the deceiving part. To be, because you got a lot of Muslim 5%ers or whatever up in the prison system. Muslims don't understand the concept of the charagma because they don't read the scriptures. There's the book that can't be mated with any other book. Isaiah, what is that? Isaiah 34:16. It said to be given a mark. Now the word there is charagma, which is a physical thing on the right hand or on the forehead. Neuralinks. Elon Musk. Put in Neuralinks and get the information. You see what's going on. That's the forehead. And no one could buy or sell, and that's literal. Buy and sell anything without the what? The charagma, which was either the name of the beast, we know what the beast system is, NATO and EU, or the number representing his name. The number representing his name. And the number is based upon 666. Your what do you call it? Universal product code are all based upon 666. That's why it says in the last verse, and his number is 666. So now let me come back and get ready to get out of here. Where am I? Okay, here we are. So I clicked on this word, mark, which is charagma. Now, it's in Revelation. Y'all all know these. The only time it's out of the book, the only one other time it's out, it's not in the book of Revelation, the book of Acts 17 and 29. To show you that it's a physical thing, it says, and this is the NLT, and since this is true, matter of fact, let me go to the 28th verse. This is the Apostle Paul speaking. I'll start you can read the 27th verse, but I'll start the 28th. For in him we live and move and exist, as some of your own poets have said, we are his offspring. So you had poets, remember, he was in Athens at the time, and he's talking to these Athenians, which are jakes. Now, what do they mean to do white people? No, they were jakes. That was the black conscious community back then. That's who he was talking to. He was talking to Sarnetta. He was talking to Jabari. He was talking to this guy. He was talking to that guy. Because they're back again. Those were those Stoics and Epicureans. Who's this guy? Who's this babbler with this new doctrine? So he's telling them about the Most High. He said, in which your poets have said, we are his offspring, meaning we come from God. We come from God. What was God's name? I don't know his name. That's why they had a plaque and it said to the unknown God. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you that. Oh, this is a heavy chapter right here. This is not the King James. So, okay, here it is. Boom. For as I was walking along in Athens, I saw your many shrines, which is churches today. Go to the hood, you're going to find what? You're going to find churches, barbershops, liquor stores, and fucking corner stores. So a church, another name for a church is a shrine. For as I was walking along, I saw your many shrines, and one of your altars, because we all have a zeal toward the Most High, but not according to knowledge. So the Athenians believed in a God, but they didn't know the name of the God. They believed that they were created by the Most High, but they didn't know the name. It said had this inscription on it, to an unknown God or to the unknown God. We know it's a God up there. We don't know his name and, so forth. This God, I'm reading it verbatim, whom you worship without knowing is the one I'm telling you about. He's saying, I'm telling you about Yahweh Shai. I'm giving you his name. The Most High, Yahweh's son's name is Yahweh Shai. So he wasn't talking to Edomites. So, when vocab says that vocab, you really need to be quiet, bro, because you don't know what you're talking about. He is a God who made the world and everything in it, since he is Lord. Now, ultimately, it was the Lord and the angels that did it at the command of the Most High, Lord of heaven and earth. He doesn't live in man-like temples. That's the statues in the temples. Oh, God is in here. No, he's not. He's in the people. And human hands can't serve his needs, for he has no needs. He himself gives life and breath to everything, and he satisfieth every need. For one man, for from one man, I'm sorry, for one man, he created all the nations, which goes back to Adam, throughout the whole earth, oikomeni, or geo. He decided for beforehand when they should rise and fall. Right. The Egyptians rose, the Egyptians fell. Ancient Romans rose, ancient Romans fell. The Babylonians came, Babylonians fell. The Medio Persians came, the Medio Persians fell. The only one nation that came back into power again, which is the Roman Empire. We in the Roman Empire. And he determined their boundaries, how far they can go, their time limit. So we're at the end of this man's system, and he knows it. His purpose was for the nations to seek after God. What nations? The Israelites, and perhaps feel their way toward him and find him, though he is not far from any one of us. He's talking about Israelites. He was telling these Athenian Israelite men that they were the Israelites. The Lacedaemonians, remember, they were Greeks, which are the Spartans. For in him we live and move and exist, as some of your own poets have said. That's what that means. So these poets are writing poetry about the Most High, which they didn't know the name. We are his offspring, meaning we are a spiritual offspring. And since this is true, we shouldn't think of the Most High as an idol designed by craftsmen from gold or silver or stone. Now let me do something. Let me get ready to close. You see the word charagma. Okay, it's right here. Charagma is right here. It says an image form. Let me see. That's charagma. That's charagma. Now you know what I got to do. Let me go to the back to the King James. So it says graven, because they're going to graven it into your hand. We read that. Revelation 14:9. If you do take it, you're going to be destroyed. The lake of fire, it's talking about America being cast on fire. Right here, before you get destroyed, you're gonna Now it says here in this is the NLT. So the first angel left the temple, the heaven, and poured out his bowl on the earth, and horrible, malignant. Like if you have a cancer, they check whether the cancer is benign or malignant. If it's benign, that means it's good. From the Latin, but benign, it's good. It's going to go away. If it's malignant, that means we're going to have a hard time getting rid of this cancer. That's why you got to go up under the knife to cut the sore, and radiation and all this other stuff, which is going to fuck your ass up. You're going to die from the goddamn radiation treatment. Malignant, a bad sore, which is a cancer. A malignant sore. Let me look up the word malignant. So the ones of you that take it, you're going to wind up catching the cancer. Bear with me for a minute. I'm going to the word malignant. That's also in the Latin. It's actually a Latin word. Malignant. Poneros, full of labors, annoyances, hardship, press and hard labor, bringing toils, annoyances, pearls, bad or of a bad nature or condition. Right. So when they say we check the lump, it's cancerous, but it's malignant. That means, oh shit, that means you got a lot of work. You may not make it. It's a bad cancer as opposed to a good cancer. So it says malignant and it says sore. Go to the word sore. Sore. A wound, the word there is helkos. A wound, especially a wound producing a discharge, pus, a sore, an ulcer. So the ones of you that took it and you're gonna play it off like you didn't took it, some of y'all might be in the camp. Oh, I didn't take it, and we don't know because you can't see it. You're gonna get either a sore or sores. In the NLT it says sores because the 5G 6G has to work through your charagma. Just like you get a signal on your phone. Now you got 5G. The newer phones you got is all 5G, equipped with 5G. And 5G is all over the place, man. So that's just one step. So anyway, with that, like I said, this is for the pedowines out there and the youngsters, the babies in this truth, and the proselytes. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.